Let's just get into how it exposed our sense of humor. Phase 1, which I'm going to be referring to as the sus phase, which is the phase in which everyone was playing the game, everyone loved it, everyone could understand the jokes that were being made, such as the swiping the card being very inefficient and public lobbies just believing random accusations of being sus, which of course we all know is short for suspicious. The YouTube poop community had it first, but I digress. We had stuff like people just assuming sus levels based on just either behavior or color. Mainly color because of the internalized racism in Among Us. We also had stuff like the fake Family Guy skit because it would be totally in character for them to do, and people just not wanting to believe the basic evidence in front of them. And we also can't forget the relatable joke of trying to pin something you did on another person and try and get them eliminated. So phase 1, what would I rate it? I don't know, it was pretty good. It was something we all found funny. It was something that it was almost the prime of Among Us humor because we all got it. It hadn't gone old yet, but then it kinda got ruined pretty quickly because as things get popular, we learn time and time again that when something gets popular, people exploit it and milk it to death. Phase 2, which I am dubbing the Deviant phase due to the behavior of just everyone involved during this phase, was the phase in which, for example, Sonic tried to get in on the trend and try and contribute to the milking of the Among Us memes that we liked, to which everyone spammed one image that we all know really well now, but it only just started to kind of get traction at the time because at this point, Among Us memes were starting to get a little old, and it was almost the same joke repeated over and over again. So this image was made kind of as a mic drop on Among Us memes. However, this just resulted in many, many more Germa meme type amalgamations as you're seeing right now. There's no real way to describe them, you just have to experience it. We also got more kind of ironic memes, such as the Among Drip, or I guess how you could say rather, I don't know what to call this, but quote-unquote sexually appealing. And that is why I'm calling this the Deviant phase, because, you know, they got a little deviant, to say the least. Now, what would I rate this phase? This one I actually kind of liked better than the sus phase. Sorry, that was my dog in the background. Anyway, I actually think this one was better than the sus phase because now everyone was banding together to kind of stop the memes from getting kind of stale and just overused by overusing a different thing, which in itself evolved into just madness as even the Deviant phase had started to get a little old. Though some semblance of Phase 2 still remains today, we are in Phase 3, what I like to call the Delusion phase. Why I'm calling it this? Well, we all know the state of Among Us memes now. It's all just, this object looks slightly like a crewmate, and therefore, that it's a reference to Among Us, which kind of sparks that trend of people finding more objects that somewhat have that pattern. It's devolved to the point where even a dog is called an Among Us character. Where did it all start, really? Well, that depends on who you ask. In my opinion, it all started when the Stone Toss parody came out, with one of the characters standing smugly outside of a glass dome with an Among Us character, which, you know, originally that wasn't an Among Us character, standing inside while the smug guy is saying Amogus. Almost like a demeaning kind of derogatory term that was made up for what we used to love, what we used to know, the Among Us. But it's dead now. It's dead. So we're just scrapping for what we can find, trying to find an Among Us in everyday objects. We've fallen so far into the despair, the state of memes, that we're just finding these random objects, like a Minecraft loading screen, or a lunchbox, or an Etch-a-Sketch, or so many trash cans. Good lord, so many trash cans have been the result of this. And of course, with Stone Toss, you're gonna get more parodies. So, along with the original, came 2 more that I could find, which, this phase, I personally wasn't a huge fan of this phase at first, but eventually it grew on me. I can no longer go out and see a trash can and not think of a crewmate. I can never look at anything that slightly resembles an Among Us character and not think Amogus. It's the free thinker attitude that we're in right now, where anything that slightly resembles an Among Us character is memed to death. But what is it for? Is it to bash something that we look back on with cringe? Are we really cringing at it? Are we longing for what once was a game that we all used to get along playing and having fun with? Or is it just something that we don't like now and therefore must ruthlessly make fun of? It gives us something to think about, how when some of the crowd starts to kind of turn on what we used to think was cool, everything just devolves into what we see now. We've never seen a pattern just like this with the Among Us. We never used to see such behavior from people. Even with Minecraft, we didn't take just random things that could possibly resemble a Steve and just meme the hell out of them. It goes to show how far humor has gone, that anything will be exploited for a laugh, and that it will eventually die. All memes eventually die. But Among Us was the one thing that somehow outlived its lifespan. And how Among Us exposed our sense of humor? Well, our sense of humor has devolved to the point where literally anything is Amogus. Anything. Anything. Nothing will be the same. Not even the term Among Us will be the same. We'll grow up, and every time we hear the term Among Us, we'll think of that one game that we used to make fun of ruthlessly back in 2020 and 2021. Unless we're still making fun of it in 2022, then we'd just be we'd be going backwards as a society, wouldn't we? But that's how it feels. And that's about it. I'll see you in the next one.